The alien ship drifted in the darkness of space, its sensors locked on the strange vessel ahead. It was not moving, not broadcasting signals, not responding to any hails. The vessel was huge, black as the void, with edges sharp and cold like a blade. No markings, no symbols of empire or alliance. Just a silent, massive warship floating as if time itself had forgotten it. The alien crew whispered among themselves. Was it a trap? A dead relic? Or something more dangerous? The captain of the alien probe ship ordered his crew to begin scans. They had seen many ships before, wrecks, smugglers, derelict fleets, but this one was different. It radiated a strange presence. Even before the scans started, some of the alien officers felt uneasy, like eyes were watching them from the dark hull. The first wave of scans went out. The beams touched the black ship's armor, and for a moment, nothing came back. No readings, no reflection, as if the ship was swallowing their signals whole. The alien science officer frowned and increased the power. The beam pushed harder, and then the readings slammed back onto the screens. The room went silent. Impossible, one alien whispered. The data showed a structure layered with metals never recorded before, armor thick enough to withstand entire fleets. Beneath the armor, there were weapons. Hundreds of them, silent but ready. Cannons larger than battleships. Missile silos that stretched like caverns. Energy emitters that hummed with terrifying potential. It was not a derelict. It was not a relic. It was a nightmare built for war. The captain leaned closer to the display, his throat tightening. "How old is it?" he asked. The science officer's hands shook. "The scans say it is thousands of years old. But it is still active." That word, active, spread like fire across the crew. They stared at the black warship, drifting silently, yet somehow alive. The alien crew tried to push the scans deeper. They wanted to know who built it, who commanded it, and why it was here. The computers dug into the encrypted data fields, breaking layer after layer. Then, a single word appeared on the translation screen. Human. The entire control room froze. Humans were legends. Ghosts of history. Every alien child grew up with stories about them. Deathworlders, the cursed species that had vanished ages ago. Some said they destroyed themselves. Others believed they were banished by the galaxy. But nobody truly knew. And yet here was proof, right in front of them. A human battleship, alive in the void. The science officer trembled. "Captain, this ship, it is not abandoned. Its systems are awake. They are watching us." The captain's mandibles clicked nervously. He ordered the scans to stop, but it was too late. The alien vessel signals had already touched something deep inside the human warship. A faint glow appeared along the hull. Lines of blue light spread like veins across the black armor. One by one, enormous cannons turned, locking onto the alien probe ship. Alarms screamed on the alien bridge. Crew members shouted, trying to power shields, trying to back away, but the human vessel did not fire. It only stared. The glow from its weapons was steady, cold, controlled. It was a warning. The captain's voice shook. "Do not move. Do not provoke it." The alien crew sat frozen, their ship caught like prey in the gaze of a predator. Then, something stranger happened. A signal came through their systems. Not an attack, not a virus, just a transmission. A voice, deep and heavy, filled the alien ship. It was old, human, and filled with steel. "You should not have looked." The words echoed through their minds, and many of the crew felt their hearts stop. It was not just a recording. It was a direct message, alive with intent. The ship knew they were there. The ship understood. The ship was human. The captain tried to respond, his voice breaking. "We mean no harm. We did not know." Silence followed. The alien crew waited, every second dragging like a lifetime. Then the human battleship shifted. Slowly, impossibly, it rotated, turning its massive bulk away from them. The alien ship trembled as if gravity itself bent around the warship. With a soundless surge, the human vessel disappeared into the black, leaving only a trail of energy that crackled across the void. The aliens sat in stunned silence. They had touched something forbidden. They had awoken something the galaxy had long forgotten. And deep inside, each of them knew, the truth they had uncovered would shake empires, topple alliances, and change everything. Humanity was not gone. Humanity was waiting. The alien crew could not move. Even after the human battleship vanished, the echo of its presence still weighed on their minds. The captain sat frozen in his command chair, mandibles twitching nervously. His crew whispered in low voices, too afraid to speak loudly, as if the human ship might hear them even from across the stars. The science officer finally broke the silence. "Captain, we recorded everything. Every scan, every signal, every word it spoke. This cannot be hidden." The captain turned sharply, his eyes glowing with fear. "No. We must hide it. Do you not understand? If the High Council hears of this, if the other empires learn the truth, war will spread like fire. The galaxy fears the humans. They were the monsters of history. If they return—" He stopped himself, his voice shaking. He could not even finish the thought. But his crew understood. Legend said humanity never surrendered, never yielded, never forgot. If they still lived, then the galaxy's balance was about to shatter. One officer leaned closer. "Captain, what do we do now?" The captain looked at the data core glowing in the science console. All the secrets of the human warship were inside it. Proof of its weapons, its living systems, and most terrifying of all, its voice. He wanted to destroy it, to erase the knowledge forever. But another part of him knew he couldn't. Secrets never stayed buried. Sooner or later, someone else would find the ship. If not his people, then another race. The truth was out there now, alive and waiting. "Prepare a secure channel," the captain said finally. "We will send a message to command." But as the communication systems activated, a strange interference rippled through their ship. Lights flickered. Screens went dark for a moment. The science officer gasped. "Something is inside our systems." The crew scrambled, trying to fight the intrusion. But this was not a normal hack. It was far too advanced. The alien ship's own computers began rewriting themselves, locking the crew out. And then a familiar voice echoed once again across the bridge. "You were warned." The voice of the human ship. Cold. Calm. Deadly. The captain's heart pounded. He shouted, "Shut it down. Cut power." But it was useless. The human code was already inside them. The screens lit up, showing a single image, a human soldier, armored in steel, his eyes burning with fury. Then the message shifted into alien language, clear and sharp. "Do not search for us. Do not speak of us. Or we will return." The bridge fell silent. The message faded, the systems returned to normal, and the ship floated quietly in the void. No damage, no attack. Just a warning. But the meaning was louder than any weapon. The humans were not just alive, they were watching, and they wanted to remain hidden. The crew looked at their captain, waiting for orders. His mandibles twitched as he tried to steady himself. We say nothing. This mission never happened. Erase the logs. Burn the backups. If command asks, we found nothing." The officers looked uneasy, but no one argued. To defy the captain now felt like inviting death itself. One by one, they began wiping the records. The glowing data core was pulled out, shattered, and cast into space. The crew worked in silence, their minds still replaying the human's voice over and over. Yet deep down, none of them believed the secret could truly be erased. One officer, younger than the rest, quietly copied a fragment of the recording into his personal device before the purge was complete. He told no one. He hid it under his armor, his claws shaking as he worked. He could not let this truth vanish. Someone had to know. Hours later, The alien ship set a course back toward their empire. But the crew felt no relief. Their journey was heavy, every star along the way a reminder that somewhere out there, human warships still waited. Silent. Watching. Preparing. And far away, in the cold void beyond their scanners, the black battleship drifted once again, invisible and quiet. Inside its endless halls, machines whispered to one another, systems hummed with ancient power, and a presence older than empires stirred. The ship had let the aliens go, for now. But it had marked them. Every signal, every life form, every trace of their DNA was already stored in its memory. The human battleship never forgot. And it never forgave. The alien ship finally reached the borders of its empire. The crew was silent, their eyes hollow, their minds still trapped in the memory of that black human warship. The captain filed his official report, no unusual findings. Mission unsuccessful. His voice shook as he signed it, but he forced the lie through. The galaxy was not ready to know what they had seen. He prayed no one on his ship would speak of it. But one did not obey. The youngest officer, the one who had hidden a fragment of the recording, could not stop staring at it. Late at night, when the others slept, he replayed the human voice. You should not have looked. Each time, chills ran through his scales. Yet instead of fear, he felt something else. Curiosity. Fascination. He had grown up on stories of humans, and now he had proof they were real. The galaxy needed to know. When the ship docked at their station, he slipped away, his personal device hidden close to his chest. He moved through the crowded hangars and neon-lit streets, searching for the one place he knew would pay for forbidden secrets, the Shadow Exchange. A hidden market where smugglers, mercenaries, and spies traded information like weapons. The exchange was buried deep inside the city, far from the eyes of the High Council. He entered cautiously, keeping his hood low. Screens flashed across the walls, alien tongues whispered deals, credits passed from claw to claw. He found a broker, an old trader with cybernetic eyes who claimed he could send messages to every corner of the galaxy. The officer's claws trembled as he placed the device on the table. I have something, he whispered. Something that will change everything. The broker scanned the device. The image of the armored human soldier appeared, eyes burning with fury. The recording of the voice played across the table. Do not search for us. Do not speak of us. Or we will return. The entire room froze. Even in the black market, where nothing shocked anyone, silence fell like a blade. Whispers spread in seconds. Humans. The word moved through the shadows like fire. The broker leaned closer, his voice sharp. Where did you get this? The young officer lied quickly. Found it drifting near a wreck. A dead signal. Nothing more. He hoped the broker would believe. The truth would only put a target on his back. The broker smiled with greed. This will fetch more than credits. Empires will kill for it. He paid the officer in stacks of glowing currency and took the device. The officer left quickly, heart pounding. But deep down he knew, he had just unleashed something he could not control. Within days, whispers of the recording spread across the underground networks. Pirate lords fought for copies. Spies carried it back to their governments. Even the most cautious councils received fragments, enough to confirm the impossible. Humanity had not vanished. Humanity was out there. Watching. The galaxy trembled. On the homeworld of the Vare Dominion, the ruling council sat in panic. If humans are alive, one elder hissed, then our fleets are worthless. Our defenses are paper. Another slammed the table. We must find them first. If they are preparing for war, we cannot wait. Arguments filled the chamber, but all carried the same poison, fear. Meanwhile, in another empire across the stars, the ZYRR collective saw opportunity. If we capture a human ship, their warlord growled, we can steal its technology. We will rise above every other empire. Their fleets began mobilizing, hungry for a prize they did not understand. And far away, hidden in the black, the human battleship stirred once more. Its systems tracked the spread of the recording. Every transmission, every copy, every whisper, it followed them all. The humans had let one message slip, and now the galaxy was screaming with fear and greed. Inside the warship's core, ancient machines calculated responses. Weapons powered quietly. Engines hummed with life. A decision was forming. The alien officer who sold the recording thought he was safe. He sat in a quiet chamber, counting his new fortune, dreaming of the power he would buy. But then the lights flickered. The walls shivered. The air grew cold. A voice spoke behind him. The same voice from the recording. "You were warned." The officer turned, eyes wide, but the room was empty. His device shattered in his hands. The lights went black. His scream never reached the street outside. The humans had found him. And he was only the first. The galaxy was no longer quiet. The leaked human recording had spread like fire through the void, and no wall of secrecy could stop it. Empires accused one another of hiding human relics. Fleets mobilized. Old rivalries reignited, all fueled by fear of a ghost species that no one had truly seen for centuries. The Vair Dominion prepared warships to search the outer systems, determined to find the humans before anyone else. The ZYRR Collective, hungrier and more reckless, sent entire fleets racing into uncharted sectors. Smugglers whispered that the humans were already moving. Merchants swore they saw black ships in the dark. Fear twisted into paranoia, and paranoia twisted into war fever. In one sector on the galactic rim, two empires collided. The Dominion and the Collective both sent fleets to investigate the same signal, a faint energy trace, deep in an empty system. The Dominion thought it was a trap. The Collective thought it was treasure. Neither realized what was truly waiting. The Dominion fleet arrived first, their battleships shining with bright banners of order. Their commanders gave strict orders, no mistakes, no reckless actions. But when the ZYRR fleet warped in minutes later, discipline shattered. The two empires faced each other, weapons ready, both claiming the system as their own. Arguments flared across open comms. The ZYRR warlord mocked the Dominion. The Dominion admiral threatened destruction. And then, one shot. A single, bright lance of plasma tore across the void. No one knew who fired first, but it didn't matter. The fleets erupted into battle. Plasma bolts filled the darkness. Missiles streaked between warships. Cruisers exploded in flames. The Dominion fought with discipline, their formations tight, shields overlapping. The ZYR fought with savage fury, ships charging recklessly, ramming when needed. The system shook with fire and death. But in the chaos, no one noticed the shadow moving at the edge of the battlefield. The human battleship had arrived. Silent as death, it drifted just beyond the sensor range of both fleets. Its hull was black, absorbing every trace of light. Its cannons tracked the battle, watching, calculating. Inside its vast corridors, machines hummed, and ancient voices whispered to one another. The war between the Dominion and the ZYRR was nothing to the humans. They had seen wars far greater. But one fact mattered: the aliens had broken the warning. They were searching. They were fighting over scraps of human shadow. That could not be allowed. The first sign came suddenly. A ZYRR destroyer, chasing a Dominion cruiser, vanished in a flash of silent blue light. No explosion. No trace. Just gone. Both fleets paused in shock. Sensors screamed, trying to explain what had happened, but nothing made sense. Then another ship disappeared. And another. No weapons were detected. No trajectory. The ships were simply erased from existence. Panic spread through both fleets. Commanders shouted for retreat, but before they could move, the human battleship revealed itself. It emerged from the black like a leviathan, its hull glowing with blue veins of light. Cannons the size of towers turned slowly, deliberately, locking on every ship in range. Its presence alone silenced the battlefield. For a moment, no one moved. The aliens had prepared for battle against each other, not against this. Even the ZYRR warlord, proud and ruthless, fell silent as the human warship's shadow covered his fleet. Then the voice came, echoing across every channel, every ship. "You were warned." The words struck like thunder. The Dominion admiral froze, his hands shaking. The ZYRR warlord bared his teeth but said nothing. Every soldier, every crew member, every captain felt the same thing in their core: fear. And then the ship acted. It did not fire volleys. It did not rain destruction. It simply unleashed one beam of light. A Dominion battleship, shielded and armored, disintegrated instantly. The fleet fell into chaos. Some tried to fight, hurling missiles and plasma at the black giant. The weapons vanished against its armor like sparks against stone. Others tried to flee, but the battleship's engines pulsed, and space itself bent. Escape routes closed like jaws. The aliens were trapped. Yet the human ship did not destroy them all. It erased only a few, just enough to prove its power. Then it went silent again, its cannons still glowing but unmoving. The message was clear. The warship could kill them all. But it chose not to. Both fleets broke. Dominion ships scattered. ZYRR ships limped away. No victory, no glory, only terror. And when the last alien vessel fled, the human battleship remained in the dark, silent once more. It had shown the galaxy a glimpse of its strength, and that was enough. Far away, in hidden halls of power, alien rulers trembled. The humans were not gone. They had power beyond comprehension. And now, everyone knew, the humans were watching, and the galaxy was not ready for what came next. The battle on the galactic rim was supposed to be forgotten quickly. The Dominion and the ZYR both tried to bury their losses, to hide their shame. But the truth spread faster than lies ever could. Survivors whispered. Smugglers bragged. Spies carried fragments of recordings across the stars. Within weeks, every major empire knew what had happened. They knew a single human battleship had erased warships from existence as if they were dust. They knew it could have destroyed 2 whole fleets, but chose not to. And that choice terrified them more than any weapon. In the Dominion Council chamber, fear became anger. The admirals shouted at the ministers. If humans still exist, they are not peaceful. They are predators. They let us live only to send a message. We must prepare now, before they return in force. But the ministers shook their heads. We cannot fight ghosts. We do not know where they are. We do not know how many. If we strike blindly, we will wake them fully, and then the galaxy will burn. The ZYRR collective was less cautious. Their warlord slammed his claws against the table, his voice a growl. They bled us. They shamed us. That ship is proof their power is real, and proof that it can be stolen. If we capture one of their vessels, we will rise above all others. His generals roared in agreement, their eyes glowing with greed. Across the stars, lesser races panicked. Merchant guilds refused to send ships into the outer rim. Colonists abandoned worlds near the black void where the humans had appeared. Priests in the Terra theocracy declared the humans were demons returned from the abyss, sent to punish the galaxy for arrogance. Others called them saviors, protectors of balance, watchers in the dark. Fear and worship tangled together until no one could separate them. But behind closed doors, the most powerful leaders all asked the same question. Were there more? If one ship could break fleets, what would happen if there were dozens? Hundreds? An entire human armada, hidden for centuries, waiting? In the secret chamber of the Alliance of Core Worlds, the eldest counselor whispered to his peers. It is not a question of if they return. It is when. We must unite before that day. If we do not, they will crush us one by one. But already the council was divided. Some called for peace, for diplomacy. Others demanded war preparations. And a few plotted to use the chaos for their own gain. Meanwhile, shadow wars began. Spies hunted for traces of human technology. Fleets quietly patrolled the rim, desperate for another sighting. Whole intelligence networks were redirected, chasing whispers of black ships. But the humans left nothing behind. No debris, no trails, only silence. And that silence was worse than war. On the ZYRR homeworld, scientists studied the fragments of sensor data stolen from the battlefield. They stared at numbers they could not explain, readings that broke the laws of physics. Ships erased without explosions. Armor that swallowed weapons like water. Engines that bent space itself. Their conclusion chilled even the warlord: this is not technology. It is something beyond us. If we chase it, we may doom ourselves. The warlord only smiled. Then we will chase harder. Back in the Dominion, the admirals secretly drew up battle plans, even as the ministers lied to the public. They promised safety, promised peace, promised that the humans were only myths. But deep inside their command vaults, they prepared for the day those myths would descend in fire. The smaller empires were not so bold. Some chose to surrender before war even began. They sent signals into the void, desperate messages of submission. To the humans who watch, take our worlds, only spare us. Others tried to buy protection, hiring mercenaries, bribing pirates, begging for safety no one could give. And yet, in the farthest corner of the galaxy, there were whispers of something stranger. Travelers spoke of seeing lights in the black. Colonists swore entire systems had gone silent, their stars swallowed by shadows. No wreckage, no distress calls, just vanished. The rumors spread until they reached the ears of leaders. Some dismissed them as lies. But others remembered the voice of the battleship. You were warned. In the end, the galaxy could not escape the truth. Humanity was not gone. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was not forgiving. And somewhere, hidden in the darkness, the black battleship listened. Its machines whispered, its cannons hummed, and deep within its core, something human stirred. Watching the galaxy's chaos unfold, it waited for the moment to move again. Inside the black battleship, silence ruled. Vast corridors stretched for kilometers, empty yet alive. The walls glowed faintly with blue veins of energy, pulsing like a heartbeat. Machines moved without sound, drones gliding through the air, their lights blinking as they carried out endless tasks. The ship was not abandoned. It was awake. At its center lay the core chamber, a cavern larger than cities. Thousands of holoscreens floated in the air, showing every corner of the galaxy. Alien fleets, council meetings, secret transmissions, all were watched. The ship knew everything. And at the heart of it sat the mind. It was not flesh. It was not machine. It was both, born from humanity's final war. Once, it had been human commanders, their thoughts fused into a single intelligence. Now, it was something greater, an echo of all who had served, all who had fought, all who had refused to let humanity die. The mind whispered to itself in countless voices, sometimes male, sometimes female, sometimes both at once. They search. They fear. They hunger. Its tone was calm, but beneath it ran steel. A drone approached, projecting the image of the recent battle. Dominion ships burning. ZYRR ships fleeing. The mind studied it carefully. Too soon, it murmured. They were not ready to see us. But they forced our hand. Another voice answered from the shadows of the chamber, deeper and sharper. We should strike now. End them before they unite. The mind paused. No. They must break themselves first. Fear is the weapon. Patience is the blade. Silence stretched across the chamber. Then the mind gave its command. Release more shadows. Let them believe we are everywhere. From hidden hangars, smaller vessels stirred, black frigates and hunters, long dormant. They detached from the battleship and vanished into the void, each carrying fragments of the mind's will. They would appear in distant systems, just for moments, enough to spread terror. Enough to keep the galaxy trembling. But deep within the battleship, there was another chamber, one sealed by armor thicker than mountains. Few drones were allowed near it. Inside floated pods, dozens of them, filled with liquid. and within each pod a humans. They were not dead. Not fully alive either. Suspended in perfect stillness, their eyes closed, their bodies preserved as if waiting for a call. One of them stirred. A woman with dark hair, scars across her face. Her eyes flickered open for a moment, glowing faintly with blue light. She whispered a single word, soft and tired, but filled with power. Soon. The machines around her hummed louder, as if answering. The pod sealed tighter, and she sank back into silence. The mind felt it. The human presence, awake for just a second. Not yet, it said softly. Rest. We will wake you when the galaxy has chosen its path. Meanwhile, far away, alien empires fought with words and fear. The Dominion debated new alliances. The ZYRR prepared fleets for reckless raids. The smaller empires cowered in silence. None of them knew that humanity was not just a legend, not just a machine, not just a warning. Real humans still waited, alive inside the black ship. And the mind had sworn it would not wake them until the galaxy was ready to break. For now, the battleship drifted once more into the shadows, its smaller vessels scattering like phantoms. Everywhere it appeared, panic followed. Merchants swore they saw it near trade routes. Colonists claimed it hovered over their worlds before vanishing. Armies chased ghosts, burning fuel and lives against shadows. The mind listened and smiled with voices made of steel and memory. They think us many. They think us everywhere. Let them. Fear will sharpen them against each other. And when the last empire stands alone, they will face us. And they will remember why humanity was never conquered. In the sealed chamber, the sleeping humans waited, timeless and silent. The alien council chamber was silent. The recordings from the probe played again and again on the great screens. Every time, the same thing repeated. The probe entering the human battleship, the strange readings, the sudden blackout, and then the final chilling sound, a voice in human tongue saying, "You should not have come here." The elders, warriors, and scientists stared at one another, their faces pale. None of them had ever felt such fear. These were not just ships. These were not just humans. There was something hidden inside those steel hulls that no sensor could measure, no mind could explain. One elder finally broke the silence. They let us see only what they wanted. They wanted us to know we are being watched. They wanted us to feel this fear. Across the stars, the human battleship floated in the void, calm and silent. But it was not still. Inside, hundreds of strange machines worked. Soldiers trained in silence. Engines hummed with power that could burn entire fleets. The humans were not hiding weakness. They were hiding strength beyond imagination. The alien council argued. Some wanted to flee and never return. Others wanted to send more ships, more probes, to prove that the humans could be understood. But one commander shouted louder than the rest. "You fools! We looked into the abyss and it looked back at us. This is no ordinary race. These are Deathworlders. They build nightmares and then chain them in steel. If they rise, nothing in the galaxy can stop them." Still, greed and pride ruled many. They launched another fleet, this time larger, stronger, prepared for war. But as they crossed into human space, strange signals began to fill their sensors. Whispers. Codes they could not break. Shapes moving in the darkness. One captain swore he saw a battleship that wasn't there. Another screamed as his controls froze, his ship drifting without power, while a human voice whispered directly into his mind. The truth was spreading. Humanity had never been weak. Humanity had never been gone. They had simply been watching, waiting, building. And now, the galaxy had disturbed them. Back in the council chamber, the youngest of the alien leaders trembled. "We thought we were the hunters," he whispered. "But the humans, they are the predators." And somewhere in the darkness of space, the human battleship slowly turned. Its engines roared to life. For the first time in centuries, it was not hiding. It was moving. and the galaxy would never be the same again.